Short exercise 18-4, manufacturing overhead, also abbreviated as MOH. So No Glare Sunglasses Company manufactures sunglasses. Following is a list of costs the company incurred during May. So you can view the items here. Use the list to calculate the total manufacturing overhead cost for the month. So over here, I have a copy of our slide about how costs are classified. All costs are either period costs or product costs. A product cost is a cost that could be or that was incurred to make a product. Period costs are just opposite, therefore, like selling a product or selling a service, and under product costs, they're either direct costs or indirect costs. Direct costs are either direct materials or direct labor, so these two types of costs can be directly tied, in this case, on the slide to making a certain car. Some costs, however, cannot be directly attributed to a certain car that was made. Those include indirect materials like glue and little hand tools, and indirect labor such as a factory janitor and the factory supervisor. So these two people help make the cars, but you can't say how much the janitor helped make this certain car versus a red car, etc. And other types of manufacturing overhead costs include like factory rent, factory depreciation, maintenance on the factory, factory utilities. So basically all the types of expenses that go into making the car that cannot be tied directly to that specific car. And that makes sense. Like, let's say you have a factory utility for the factory insurance. You cannot directly tie an insurance bill to see how much of the insurance attributed to making a certain car. Also, some costs might be able to be specifically tied directly to a car, like a glue, but the cost to figure out, well, how many drops were used for a certain car is just not economically feasible. So we would consider that an indirect cost called manufacturing overhead instead of a direct material. So back to the problem. Again, we're trying to figure out which one of our total manufacturing overhead costs. So we're trying to classify which one of these are manufacturing overhead. So let's talk about the glue for the frames again. Remember, we are a manufacturer of sunglasses. That is an indirect material, which is a manufacturing overhead. So we're going to go ahead and include glue for frames as a manufacturing overhead. So let's go ahead and input that. So glue for frames, and that is $350. And then next on the list we have depreciation on company cars used by Salesforce for $3,000. So the salesmen drive around and they help sell these sunglasses. Now this is depreciation on the cars. So basically the cars are used to sell but not to make. So this is not a product cost at all. That would be a period cost. So next on our list we have plant depreciation for $9,000. So this is a product cost because the plant helps make the sunglasses, and you can't tie depreciation specifically to a pair of sunglasses. So this is a manufacturing overhead. So plant depreciation we have for $9,000. And then next on our list we have interest expense. So with the interest expense, it's not a cost of actually building the sunglasses. So let's go to lenses. So lenses are a product cost for building the sunglasses, but they are a direct material, so they are not included in manufacturing overhead. So next, the company has company president's salary for $24,500. Now, their duties are not actually building these sunglasses or making the sunglasses, so they would be a period cost. And so next we have plant foreman salary for $5,000. So the plant foreman is in charge of the plant where they make the sunglasses, but he or she does not directly make the certain sunglasses, so this is called a manufacturing overhead expense, so we're going to include that here. So we have plant foreman salary for $5,000. And the same will go for the plant janitor's wages of $1,000 that we'll include on here. So we have plant janitor's wages for $1,000. And we are including the janitor because they help with the production of the sunglasses, but not directly. We cannot figure out how they're sweeping, cleaning, help make certain sunglasses. So that's an indirect labor classification, which is part of manufacturing overhead. And then lastly, we have oil for manufacturing equipment. So because this equipment is part of the manufacturing, it is a product cost, but we can't figure out how much oil was used for each individual pair of sunglasses. So this is an indirect cost called manufacturing overhead. So let's go ahead and input oil for manufacturing equipment for 200. So then we go ahead and add these up to get our total manufacturing overhead. And that is going to be 15,550. And let's go ahead and check our answer. Well done.